Welcome in Truth Friday, hashtag Truth Friday. I want to speak about how we can bridge this gap between a mindset that feels like we're sabotaging ourselves, that we have these words in our head and maybe we can't hear them all the time, but we can feel the muck in our body. It slows us down, it takes our vitality away. How we can bridge into that deeper heart center. And I'm talking about quantum physics also. Bringing that in, I believe that we can quantum leap in our goals and what we're doing, and we can bend time. But it has to do with strategies. It's not just something that's a concept and you're just saying it. Like sometimes we just say things over and over. Like, oh, I need to be more in my heart, so then something will happen. But like, really, how do you get into your heart? I mean, like, how do you do that? So I want to do a couple strategies here today. If you really want to quantum leap, bend time, if you love these Truth Fridays like I do, I love these Truth Fridays and I'm coming from the heart. Hi, my name is Rhonda and I am the founder and producer and I host the shows. We have the shows. Our next show will be in September, but I promise you I'll keep up with the Truth Fridays and I'll bring some experts in along the way. This is a deep one. And I have a lot on my mind. So let me share a story about how we can start really connecting with the power of this and why you may want to be into this. Because if you can really get into that connection, that these things, that what we're talking about here, if you could step into it, how it could change, transform, and create a life, create a business, create the gems, everything that tethers together. Like one thought connects with every single thing in your life and the way that you approach things. And when you start really seeing that, then you get connected real quick. Like, I'm tired of being concerned about money. I'm tired of being concerned about my brain just like telling me I'm no good and and that you're not worthy of certain things, or you're lazy, or those things that just kind of come at you. Don't you get tired of being tired of hearing that ourselves, these imprints that come at us over and over again? And I know that I share this thing where the latest research is saying we say certain words to ourselves based on our history and how much we really have an imprint from when we were younger and things growing up. And if we think of things more than 90 seconds, it becomes even bigger in the cycle that we say negative to ourselves. So we have current events that are happening that connect with when we first were in this world and we're learning so much. We're creating our patterns and creating from the adults around us to understand truth, right or wrong, all those kinds of things. All of us have these imprints. And so how can we elevate to another level where we're not battling with the brain, but we're building a bridge from that sabotage space into something that can be so incredible so that you can really enjoy life? I mean, like, to the fullest. And so this is my story. I'll share a story about my in-laws and their doggie, and she's sick right now, and she's transitioning. She's at her space now where she's transitioning out of life. And when our doggies pass on, like when we see this happening, what happens? We can fall apart. We think about, like, we don't want this to happen. We'll extend their life as far as possible, even though they may not be able to get up. And there's all these things because we're so afraid of letting them go. So I was talking to mom and dad, my in-laws, and I was talking about their doggie. And their doggie is here, for however long. She's not really eating, but off and on. And we started talking spiritually about, like, how they felt, how they were doing, how they were dealing with their doggie getting ready to pass on. And it was a different conversation. And it might be because they're 80, like their late 80s, 89, 87. But I believe it also has to do with when you come to truth with something. And that is that we may be able to get to the point where we live to be where mom and dad is at 89, in their late 80s. We know people that are in their 90s, close to 100, but we're not promised that. And if we get in the truth, let me take another layer here to get connected. If we get in truth with our aging process and how we can kind of slow that down. So there's another layer to the story to get you connected. And they'll get right back into that other story. But you can start feeling this need to do everything that's exciting to you and to play every single day, even when it's serious business stuff, even when it's about making big decisions and having to say goodbye to some people, because sometimes people don't want to hang out with you, but you know it's time to say goodbye. There's these certain things, that are happening. If we get into truth with that and we really start recognizing that we're really on the edge of life and we get to make a choice every single day that we get to wake up, when we start making those decisions in a way where we don't have to spring up out of bed, but when we get out of bed, we go, wow, life is so loving and precious. And we can see, all the battles out there happening because we want to be in truth. Because if we're not going to be grounded if we just go with the happy factor. But all the shit show is going on, even maybe in family and just different things. But you personally, even when we go through hard things, you say, okay, I got this. You come here. And you start feeling that the cusp of any moment, you can take one step and bam, your life is over. And you get real close to that. Bringing that back, because I want to make sure, however age you are, that this story that I'm talking about with mom and dad, that you can really connect that for you. Like, what kind of body do you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want? What kind of money do you want? Where are you stopping yourself? Where are you naysaying yourself? And those things will start coming as you say, I'm waking up and I feel incredible that I'm still here. So when I look at mom and dad and I start talking to them about their puppy dog getting ready to move on, they're laughing and they're celebrating her life. And they're sharing these things about, oh, she ate this and she ate that. And some days, she's not really eating. And oh my gosh, she wanted us to kick her little toy for a while. And they could have showed up differently. So you see how the pathway is here, that they're opening themselves up to the sadness, but they also get to laugh and giggle and play because they get to see their doggy do these last things. If you could see yourself, that everything that you do and all your passion and stepping into it, if you could do that, get into that mindset, then it's going to be all different for you. You're going to really want a quantum leap. You're going to really want to bend time, because here on earth, it happens so quick. It's like that. Even if you live to be 100, it's still not enough time, because we keep building and building memories, and we have so many attachments to things that it's fabulous to be here on earth. When we have to transition, then how do we accept that? That's a deeper question and where I'm not going to go today, but I want to bring it back to your heart. And I want to bridge from that conversation about acknowledging how important life is. And sometimes we feel so dumbed down, so dull, so weightlifting heavy on us. So I hope this finds you in a space where you can find that mindset transformation entertainment, like we're entertaining these thoughts. That's a trademark that I did this last year. Now, if you get there, you can pause this video. You're going to take a deep breath in and just give yourself space to think about this. Now I'm going to bridge it to help you so you can take a big step over. And this is Serious Truth Friday. when you start adding your heart work in, or you start thinking about quantum physics and the possibility of leaning into things that really mean something to you, so that you can live and have all those gems on that your heart really displays for you. And remember, your heart has 40,000 neurons that work like a brain. So you're also healing the brain part when you're working in the heart. The heart gives you the experience to connect with spirit and help you magnify why you're here. You can start hearing it. You can start feeling it. You know something unique is going on for you and everybody else. You start feeling that. You start giving yourself time to see how you can build the bridge. Here's your brain naysaying and telling you can't do this, you can't do that. But you start building this bridge to your heart. So you're not fighting with your heart anymore. I'm sorry, you're not fighting with your brain anymore. Good morning. But you're getting to your heart work. And your heart starts telling you, you are precious. You are love. You are loved also because you're loving yourself, which is where you build your safety pillar. That's where I call the safety pillar that builds and creates tenacity in your life. Like you just can't stop because it's incredible. So as you're building this bridge, you're really saying goodbye to that whole fight or flight. And you have to get in truth with this, because we get stung all the time for that energy of wanting to have, like, fighting with people, fighting with traffic. It's that adrenaline. And if you're an adrenaline person, you're going to naturally not realize it, but you can get addicted to that. So when you're building your bridge from the stuff that you have here, the connection I just built earlier, into this, you're going to say, hey, brain, because the brain's right here as you're getting into your heart. I'm building this bridge and I'm listening to you because there's things, and we have knowledge and wisdom here. But our heart gets to connect with our spirit and connect with something deeper. We really get in truth. So if I build this bridge, then the heart and the spirit get to talk to the brain and say, hey, I got your back. I'm listening to you. But I'm also going to explore everything that I can do in life right now. And I'm going to quantum leap so I don't slow myself down and stay here to the brain, where I can see one step at a time moving. But I can actually exponentially move things forward with lots of love in my family. I feel that when I look at after I left being a CPA for in the accounting and corporate world and stuff, that when I came here, there's some people in my life that were throwing things at me. So let me tell you a little bit of a story here. Bring in stories about when you start shifting, what can stop you from building that bridge. And the things that were coming were people that I could tell they were in their limiting space. They were very concerned for me. Like, okay, you almost fell in a very, like, mental way. So I'm glad you left corporate, but what's going on now? You're not using your CPA license? Why not? You spent all that time, and I had people going down that route with me. You went to school. You mean you're not going to do accounting? What are you doing? When are you going to go back? Why are you not going back? Do you want to go back? Do you miss it? And you start getting into these things where it's here in the brain. People are coming at you, but when you bring the frequency up, you give people the opportunity to come along with you. But you got to say goodbye to these things where people want to have that direct connection with you and they want to jab you. Now, I know in my relationship, I've been with my hubby for 25 years. How do you make it exciting? It's this way. It's this way because when you're in your brain, you see them for who they are and all the years you've been with them. And we're talking also business. We're talking health. We get tired of all this stuff. It's like all that stuff just seems so like dull. It's so boring to talk about. Let's talk about this in Truth Friday. I'm almost done with this. If you can keep bringing those gems in and allow yourself to get off the buzz of the adrenaline that the brain does, Oh, I'm scared about this. Your heart starts pumping. Oh my gosh. And of course it feels terrible, but your body gets used to it. And you can feel these things. Now we get to heal the body inside. Our nervous system is not just frayed. Chronic disease, diabetes, cancer, MS, we start repairing the nervous system. We stop shaking the nervous system. We stop using all the extra sugar that our liver has to produce, coming into you as a health coach. 20 years, by the way, in the health industry plus. And now we get to calm it. Do you see where this is going? And I'm going to stop it here because I've done so many gems. But I want to get into that. We don't have a show in this group with having experts in here till September. So make sure you go get a ticket. It's in our events if you want to just make sure that you kind of benchmark when we come back. But I'll be here every Friday talking about this stuff. I want you to think about mindset transformation entertainment. It does say mindset because I want you to think about how the mind entertains you. And I trademarked that, like I said earlier, but I want you to start building your bridge. I want you to take a step by step so that you can really feel what I'm saying. Because I've been talking years about bending time and quantum leaping. But how do we get to where the brain doesn't slow us down? And then we have to recover. Let's say we do a fail. And I call it fail safe now. But think about that. Your brain shames you and doesn't let you go until you pent and repent. But if you build your bridge to your heart and to the spirit and the things that are important to you in life, in love, in business, our global vision, speaker locking arms. You're out there speaking every time you talk. That is speaking. That's speaking your truth. And this is somebody who has healed from hypothyroidism. And of course symptoms come back. So we got to keep doing this work. What do you think about that? I love you so much. You may want to play this a couple times because if you have your journal, this is going to open you up to some ideas. I'm just here as the motivator and giving you the opportunity to be the expert in your life by doing this. So I love you so much. I appreciate this group. We're going to keep growing and expanding in this group. And I may move this group into another software that I just, I've been looking at. And there's so many reasons, but if you want to have a personal conversation about that, I'll share that with you. But I want to keep building. I want to keep speaking to these things because this is the only way that we're going to really get through. How many of us have lost lots of people within these 3 years? How many of us have felt really sick? How many of us have really starting to learn how to come with truth? That we really want to change our health. We want to change our love, our spirit, and the way that we approach things. I'm here as a guide, as one of the many guides in this world. Hashtag speaker locking arms. I appreciate you. Any kind of good words that you put out there, use this hashtag. Hashtag speaker locking arms. Let's keep vocalizing and changing globally so the frequency that flows into the universe of the energy that we're putting out there, that it becomes truth and energy. Here's the Truth Friday. Namaste. Here we go, quantum leaping. Here we go, bending time. Let's keep building that bridge. We got you.